Welcome back to the Ashby Exhibit, the show where we explore the youth artist scene of Brisbane and give a platform to our flourishing young creatives. My name is Varuna Sharma-Brymer and I have the pleasure of being your docent today. In this episode we are featuring two artists who have created pieces off a shared prompt, who will then interview about their process and perspectives. We will also be exploring the artist-run initiative Stelzl, based out of West End, which is run by two entrepreneurial artists, Michael Stavro and Francis Lentz. Later, we will visit the not-for-profit textiles charity, the Nest Community, and have an interview with their CEO, Ros Fenson. Finally, we'll be rounding out the night with an interview from our guest expert, Meredith Macleod, and the production team would like to give thanks to the artists who provided the works you see around today. I will see you in the prompt. Welcome to The Prompt, the segment where we explore how artists of different mediums interpret the same concept through their works. The prompt for this week is the Latin phrase sic vita est, or such is life. Meet our first artist of the episode, Layla J. Boyd. How are you today, Layla?
I'm really good, thank you.
It's very lovely to hear. And what was your reaction to receiving tonight's prompt?
Yeah, originally I thought it was such a broad prompt and I had a little bit of difficulty deciding what to do. But then I kind of took the idea of like, such is life, like keep going, get back up again after you've been put down. And then I kind of went down that little road.
Yeah, of course. And is there anything more you'd like to tell us before the big reveal?
Not really.
Okay, then well, let's see it.
Cool.
Wow, very beautiful, Layla.
Thank you.
So tell us about the piece. What's the story behind it?
Yeah, so I had the idea of like, such is life, you keep getting up when you've been put down and stuff, and that reminded me of boxing a lot. And it reminded me of this one quote from John Cena when he's talking about you earn your sunsets, and the idea of being grateful for the life you live, but not in a way of like unhappiness. Like be grateful you get to keep living and be happy with that, and just like get up, keep moving and all that.
Yeah, of course. Are there any influences from your personal style or experience that we might see in the work?
Yeah, definitely. I've done lots of textile works before. It's a really fun medium to work with, especially like this is screen printing, that's lino cuts, it's all these different things. And I've also taken a lot of inspiration from my grandmother. She did lots of textile works, and I want to kind of join crafts and visual arts together to one big piece.
Yeah, wow. So were there any other options when you were creating this? What was your process?
Yeah, definitely. I was originally going to do this massive oil painting or portraiture painting, then I realized did not have enough time for that, and I instead worked on this, yeah.
Yeah, cool. And for our final question, do you have any advice for the young artists out there?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a boring answer at start. Like, you have to learn the basics. Like, remember to learn the rules, then for you to break them. And always make work that you're happy with and have fun with and, like, enjoy what you do.
Of course. Well, thank you, Layla, and it's been a pleasure having you in today. But I believe that is all we have time for. Now, I'll hand you over to our other host, Suri, who will introduce us to the world of Stelzl.
Thank you, Varuna. My name is Suri, and I have the pleasure of presenting one of Brisbane's incredible exhibitions right here in the heart of West End. Today, we're diving into the world of Stelzl, a Brisbane and Meanjin artist-run initiative founded by emerging artists Michael Stavro and Francis Lentz. Stelzl provides a platform to support and connect local artists, bringing their voices, ideas, and creativity to life. Now, tell us about the origin of Stelzl.
For us, it was really a passion project coming out of school. We noticed that there was a bit of an absence in the Brisbane art scene, so we wanted to use our space to provide voice for those who couldn't really show their artworks.
And how do you find the artists that you exhibit?
Well, mostly because as we're practicing artists, we go in to local exhibitions and see those emerging artists. That way we get to see them in person, and then we also...
It's social media, really. We've found artists in the past that we've worked with just because we liked their work. Yeah.
Now tell me, what is the importance of providing these artists a platform like this?
Well, as Michael said, it's about the absence. So because there's not really much space for emerging artists to exhibit, by giving them this room to exhibit with them, we're able to provide them a platform to speak, really, yeah.
Michael, Francis, thank you so much for inviting us into the world of Stelzl.
Thank you.
Now back to you at the exhibit.
Thank you, Suri, and thank you, Michael Stavro and Francis Lentz, for featuring on our show today. and welcome back to The Prompt, where I have the pleasure of introducing you to our guest visual artist of the evening, Danica Aquino Taylor. How are you today, Danica?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Very wonderful to hear. Now, is there anything you'd like to tell us before we roll the clip?
So the artwork I've created is a 2-channel installation that goes for 5 minutes, and it's entitled Passenger of Immaculation, which is actually ironic because it's not about like immaculation or perfection or anything, and really looks into like how we deal with things as best we can. And this clip is a particularly like frustrated, intense section of it.
Yeah, cool. Well, with that, I reckon we're ready. Let's see the clip. Very wonderful work, Danica. So tell us more about this work. What's the story behind it?
So the perspective of the audience, you know, coming into this space in this installation is they've been waiting for so long, and you see this deconstructed bus, you know, like a TV screen, window, disco ball wheels, smoke machine puffing out, and little cardboard hand-holdy things, all kinds of props. And there's this setup of like guidance or an altar, meditative kind of thing. But, you know, even with this tough helmet and bravery and all of that and innocent angel wings, it's really like just vulnerable, like a breakdown, and sharing this like resilience and persistence that everyone faces like each day, like sic vita est.
Yeah, cool. And how did you make it?
There's like a whole process of like, you know, recording, building the set with like found materials and everything like that. And just like video art is something that I've recently started exploring and everything like that.
Okay, well, it's been great talking to you today, Danica, and we can't wait to see what you do next.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, that is all we have time for. So now the Ashby Exhibit is heading over to the Nest community, where CEO and founder Ros Fenson will tell us a little bit about who they are, what they do, and we will see you shortly.
The Nest is a women's charity. We exist to turn textile waste into community value, keeping quality materials in use, teaching practical skills, and creating a space of belonging. My name is Ros Holt, and I'm the CEO and founder of the Nest community. We've been in this beautiful location at Brendale for about 2 years now. There's a major crisis happening with regard to landfill, and that's to do with the level of consumption that we as society are producing. We're overproducing. So the Nest community, we see that there's an importance in giving the next generation the skill set to be able to overcome consumption. That is by either mending, repairing or making. The Nest was actually an idea I had of mine in 2012. I was actually a practicing artist. I was one of Queensland's, I was an accessory designer in leather, and I had a beautiful studio where my daughter's friends would come and make things. That was part of the way that she socialised and connected, with the aim of providing for that next generation. So the system is this circular of giving. The customer comes, and someday the customer will become the donor or the volunteer, and so the cycle continues.
Thank you, Ros, and welcome back to the exhibit. For those tuning in just now, we have finished our interviews with the two incredible young artists, Layla and Danica, and have reached the point in our night for our expert interview. Our featured guest tonight is Meredith Macleod, who is a Tasmanian-born, Brisbane-based artist. She graduated with her a fine arts degree, receiving a medal for the highest achieving student, as well as the Trevor Lyons Award for print media, and is now an established artist and teacher. The Ashby Exhibit is proud to welcome her. How are you today, Meredith?
Excellent, thank you.
That's very lovely to hear. And what did you think of the pieces brought in today? Was there anything that stood out to you?
I'd like to congratulate both the artists. I think their work was excellent, and what attracted me to them was that they're very contemporary pieces, very original, but as I looked at them I reflected back onto art history, and I could see the journey that they've come from, When I consider Danica's work, I see the work of Bill Viola, Bruce Norman, Varley Export, and I can see the amazing video extension from them. When I look at Layla's work, I can really appreciate the sculpture work that she's got going there. It reminds me of the work of Louise Bourgeois with her soft sculptures, Annie Alberts and Annette Messenger.
Okay, and why is it important to explore different artistic mediums?
I think it's incredibly important to push your boundaries, go beyond what is normal. You need to know what you can do, you need to know what you can't do.
Of course, of course. And well, it's been a pleasure talking to you today, Meredith, and I hope we get to see you again soon. And to all our viewers watching, thank you for visiting another episode of the Ashby Exhibit. I would like again to thank Layla and Danica for creating and showcasing their work for us today, and thank Meredith for donating her time. Tune in for next week's exhibition as we explore cinema as an art. We'll be bringing in 2 young filmmaking crews to display their works, both of which have been inspired by the prompt, "You have bewitched me, body and soul." Suri will also take us out of the studio to visit the upcoming Brisbane Festival. As always, we hope you enjoyed and have a good night.